Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Northern Forge. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It has been a while since I've made a video. Weather and work and whatnot has been keeping me out of the shop, so as you can see over here, the snow has come down off the roof of my workshop, and my power hammer is about half buried in the back there, and it hasn't knocked over either of the forges, but it's been trying. So today I want to talk to you guys about hammers and how you can get your hands on a good blacksmithing hammer without spending a whole bunch of money. So what I have here, this is a Vulcan 3-pound hammer. I believe at my hardware shop, I purchased this at my local hardware store. I believe they had it listed as a mini sledge, but you'll also see these listed as a engineer's hammer, and sometimes referred to as a single jack because they're designed to be used with one hand. This starting at 3 pounds. By the time we're done with it, it's going to be 2¼ to 2½ pounds. So right in the right ballpark of where you want to start. Maybe a little heavy for some of you younger smiths, but it's a good starting point. You can also, I've seen these in 2-pound. So if you start with that, you'll come down to about 1½ pounds. And that's another good place to start for maybe if you have a younger smith, or for the ladies out there with a little bit less upper body mass. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to turn this into a usable smithing hammer. In this video, I'm going to be doing a straight peen. I'll show you what that means here in a minute for those who don't know. I already have several cross peen hammers. I don't need another one, but just take what I'm doing and rotate it 90 degrees on the hammer head if you're wanting to make a cross peen instead of a straight peen like what I'm making here today. So without any more delays, I'm going to take this over to the vise. I'll get it marked up, show you guys how to do that, and we'll get cutting. I'm going to start by marking up the end of the hammer that I'm going to cut. I'm using a speed square for this, but really anything with a straight edge will do just fine. I'm going to mark 2 straight lines down the face. This will establish the width of my straight peen. And then next, I'm going to mark the top and the bottom of the faces on the angle, so I have a guide to follow as I cut those corners off. And then after this, I'm going to mark down both sides. I just like to have that there as a guide to make sure that I'm not off track. It's not really necessary because I'm cutting in from the end. Following my marks, I'm going to cut off the majority of the material here using a cutoff wheel on my angle grinder. It can be a bit tricky to get into the corners, so over the course of me doing this, you'll see me flip the hammerhead around a couple of times. I could put a new blade on, it would give me a little bit more depth, but I find it easier to just flip it around and come at it from another angle. With the head cut down to size, I'm going to take this over to my 2x72 belt grinder. If you don't have access to a belt grinder, you can do this part using an angle grinder. Just keep it in the vise and switch back and forth between a thick grinding disc and a flap disc. Unfortunately, my camera didn't record most of the grinding here, but here's the last bit as I'm rounding the edges of the peen, and I've already smoothed out both sides from the angle grinder cuts. After smoothing out the new peen on one side, I need to take that texture off of the flat face. I'm going to grind it flat, and then you'll see here in a second, I'm just going to tip the hammer a little bit and then spin it in kind of a circle. That'll round out the edges, and then I'll also go up to the slack belt above my platen, and I do the same thing there. It smooths out those edges a little bit by not having that hard platen backing the belt. And now the very last step on the grinder, at least, is to remove the lacquer from the wooden handle. I recommend doing this anytime you're buying any tool from the store with a wooden handle on it, or if you're buying a new handle for an existing tool. That lacquer that they ship on those handles is very slippery. It'll make you grip your handle really tight. It'll make your hand sore real quick and potentially also cause blisters. And once the lacquer is all removed from the handle, this hammer is ready to rock and roll. Normally, my hammers, I'll also lightly char the handle, followed by a little bit of linseed oil, but my hand torch is currently out of gas, so I'm going to just wait till later on actually charring this handle. And as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, leave a comment with what you'd like to see me make next, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video.